Hi everyone, Jill Lancet. How are you all? I've been really busy and I'm going to show you what we're going to do tonight. First of all, we're going to continue with our card sketches. I did not do one on Sunday. So the card sketch we are looking at tonight is number 19. That's this one here. This one here. So let's have a look at it. All the details will be down in the comments. And my name is Jill Lancet. That is my online store. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and that is my email. Please like, subscribe and share, and go and have a look at Kanamaluka Wildlife Rehabilitation Centre. If you love my videos, I'm not asking you to pay for them for me, but if you can donate a small amount, any amount, to the Kanamaluka Wildlife Rehabilitation Centre, I would be so grateful, and obviously so would they, and so would the animals. This is my nephew Duncan. He and his partner Jess run this wildlife centre, and they rehabilitate the animals and then let them go back into the wild in the wilds of Tasmania. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind, think about that. Here is our sketch. And it's not exactly the same as the sketch in the book, but guess what? It's a jumping off point, isn't it? So I've used the mini alphabet dies. I've got a whole pile of them. These are ones I haven't sorted out yet. I put them in this little box. The mini alphabet die is one die. Let me see if I can open this without destroying everything. It is one die, so you can run through just a panel of your paper and you will have all those letters, and it gives you a few of each of the normal letters that are doubles, like L's, gives you extra A's and all the vowels and everything. So excuse me, I just keep it in there. When I cut them out, I put them in there. Obviously I haven't done those ones yet. And I've discovered this little thing for quick cleanup. Look at that. Look at that. That was in one of those $2 shops. But yeah, it's got a little stiff brush on one end and then that thing, which is fantastic. Okay, so that's the mini alphabet die that I used for the letters. I've just used, I think it's a retired one. I got it when it was on sale in the clearance rack. The die is this little scalloped circle, any squares, whatever you like. The paper is the beautiful Full of Life. Now, I had this paper out to make this card, and I thought, look at that. That circle just fits in those squares. So that's how this card came about. This is an old paper that we had just to differentiate the B from the rest of the words, to make it special. And I've just put some little gems that I had that might be retired. I'm using what I've got in my stash. I don't want it to go to waste. I don't want to chuck it out. I don't want to sell it or give it away. So I'm using it. Now you can use whatever you like, but this just fits on here this really perfectly. I'm kind of a bit anal, so I was so glad that that worked out. But yeah, I really like that. That's a keeper. That card sketch is a keeper. That was very quick to do, especially since I had already, cut out the letters. They had double adhesive paper on the back, so they were now effectively stickers. So that was even quicker. Bada bing, bada boom. Beautiful. Let me know what you think about this. I'm really excited about this card. Maybe it's the coffee. I don't know. But anyway, I really like it. I just think I'm really happy with the way that turned out. And starting with a card sketch starts you thinking about what you have in your stash that you can use. You see the design, you see the diagram, and then you start the creative process of adapting your things to that sketch. I think they actually had 12 circles. Happy B Day is exactly 9. How worked out a treat. So I was really happy with that. So we'll have a look at that again at the end. I've made a whole slew of cards for you today, and I've used this paper. I had this paper out for that card, and I just started playing with it, and things evolved. And I'll show you exactly how they evolved, okay? So I have this little panel here. I've yet to make a card out of this one, but I'm not sure if you can see. But I have just stamped the butterflies. They're not random. They're in specific squares. And then with a drawing pen, like a technical drawing pen, fine liner pen. I've got embossing powder all over everything. One of these drafting pens, you can get them in different thicknesses. I got a packet of them with all different thicknesses. And I just hand drew around the circle. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this. Don't worry. You might be thinking, how did you get them like that? I'm going to show you, but I'm going to pop that one down there. Now, this is the first one I made. This is the first one I made. And I have this really old punch, and it's a square. It's 1 3/8 squares. Now, these things are expensive, so it's not like I'm going to chuck this out just because, you know, Stampin' Up doesn't sell it anymore or whatever. These are really, really handy to have in your stash. So I've just punched out 4 of these, stamped that little stamp in there, and then I've coloured that in with my blends, and I've just gone around the edges with that same pen, and I've made this card. And then I started, thinking. This is how it evolved, okay? This is not the first one I did, okay? This is the first one I did. This is the first one of the real cards that I did. Now, I did not cut these out. It turns out that that punch is that thickness, is that size. How serendipitous. 1 3/8 by 1 3/8 is 4 of those squares. So what I did was I got a piece of scrap paper, just like this, and I have just punched a square out. And I'm going to make this card. I'm going to make a card with you, okay? But I'm going to show you how I did it, okay? So then I did that one. And then I thought, I wonder what it looks like vertical. So I made it vertical. Then I added a few little touches with that same pen. I just did a few little dots around it, and I'll show you that. This has got a border of black on it. This has got a very thin border of black. This one is a little bit thicker. And then I thought, all the Americans out there, I wonder if it would fit the American size card. This is a US size card, okay? So I made one just so that I could see how this would work. So rather than the big squares in the designer series paper, there is a couple that have got small squares on them. Now I'm going to show you what's in this paper pack, okay? So here's one I played around with. I didn't really like it, but you know what? That will make a card. When I need to hurry and make a card, that will be in my paper stash. Okay, so you've got all these gorgeous, gorgeous papers. And there are your big squares. Now, I think there's a couple of different colour combinations for these. They're the same. They're the same. This is the smaller ones. Now, it turns out that 9 of those small ones will do the trick as well. So let me just see what other colours we've got. Is that the same? I think that is the same. Oh no, that's a bit more muted. The colours are a bit more muted on there. But look, you've got loads and loads of papers in this pack. And I'm sorry I opened that now because they've all just fallen out everywhere. But anyway, look. These are the 2 different papers that I've used, the bigger squares and the smaller squares. So we'll have a look at that. And we'll get on with it, okay? Right. So with the American one, I wasn't sure how many squares you would get. It turns out I could have used 1, 2, 3 squares and had half a square hanging off each end like this with the big squares, but I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that then. So we'll make this card here, but we will make it in A4 and we will make it with the larger squares. So have a look through that pack of paper and see what you've got. I loved this paper. I loved it. It was bright. It was happy. It's geometric. You know, it's in order. But I wasn't sure what to do with it. So, yeah, I came up with this idea here. So now what I'm going to do is I haven't cut the rest of the card out. Only the 2 black strips, only the black strip that I'm going to use. But we will have a look at these in a minute at the end. Now, I'm hoping this is going to be fairly quick today. So I have, oh, and here's what I did. Because the smaller squares are obviously smaller, and my 1 3/8 punch is a bit bigger, all I did was take the measurements of the 4, you know, the 9 squares of the little paper. So you can see it there. So I just measured it. It's 1 3/16 by 1 3/16. Now I've simply drawn that. I've used my ruler. I've drawn that, and I've cut that out with my craft knife. Okay, so I was able to mask off exactly the same as the way I'm going to do it here. So that is for the smaller squares. So if you're using the smaller squares, regardless of which country you're in, then yep, make yourself a little mask like that. If you have to happen to have that size punch, which is 1 3/8, then it magically fits 4 of these. So that's what we're going to use now. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how I'm going to do this. So I need my, I need my little guillotine. So it doesn't matter what colour you want, unless you want all predominantly greens, then you're going to have to be a bit picky as to which part of the paper you're going to use. But these are beautiful butterflies, and so they're going to be all different colours. So you want like 2 squares deep. This is 6-inch paper, so I'm going to cut this off so that the white border, I'm going to cut it right across that line of the colour squares, and the border will be the same. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I hope you can see this. Okay, so I'm lining up, give or take a little bit. I'm lining up the edge of these squares, this line here, that line there, with the edge of my little guillotine cutter. Now you can be more precise than this. You can rule a line, whatever you like, but I'm just pretty much eyeballing this. So I've got my straight edge up against the straight edge, and I'm going to cut that. Well, it's a bit off, so I'll give it a bit of a trim. Just bear with me for 2 seconds. And I'll just straighten this up. Should have done it this way in the first place, I think. Right. But hang on, hold your horses, honey. going to get a post-it note to help me. If you ever get yourself in one of these positions where you can't grab it because the paper guard is in the way, then you can make yourself a little handle. Okay, let's see how we go there. Beautiful. And all I did was cut off a little sliver of paper. So that's a little tip. Make yourself a little handle. Okay, so now I have my little strip with all the colours on it. I'm just going to turn that down a bit. And then I need a piece of scrap paper. I've got a bit of scrap paper here. And I've got my little mask that I made, you know, that I cut out with the paper punch. Now I'm going to show you just how quick and simple this is. Now, with my card base, I want this to be a landscape card. So what I need to do is to decide where the squares are going to go, okay? So I can do 4. I can do 4 on here. So that is what I will do. So I'm going to take my little piece of paper mask that I made, and I'm going to just place that over those 4 squares. Now, I am going to use the same little butterfly because I just like it so much. Okay, so we're going to ink that up. Let's just take that one off. And I'm going to ink this up. Now I'm just placing that over there. Now I'm going to do them randomly, you know, like, so I'm just stamping that one down in one direction. As you can see, it looks great, doesn't it? So then I'm going to take the next little square. I'm going to cover that all up with the mask. Now I'm hoping that's in the right way. Now I can lift this up to see what way he was going. And I should do this guy this way. And I can continue on moving that along. It's very, very quick. It's very, very quick. So he's going that way. So we might do this guy going half on, half off. And you get the idea, don't you? Yep. So we'll go to the last and final one. And we'll just pop him going up that way. Now, if you want to put them in some sort of random order or whatever, that's fine. You can do that. Now, I'm going to give that a bit of a hit with the heat tool. This, I haven't got my tuxedo ink. I'm using this one, and it takes a minute to dry. So I'm actually going to just hit that on speed 1 and just give that a minute to dry. Otherwise I could smudge it. I don't want to smudge it. I've come this far. Okay. That's probably dry now. Sometimes you have to do that. Now, of course, you could heat emboss those if you wanted to. But now I'm taking my pen. Now, as I said, I bought a whole pile of them. I got them from an online stationery store. I don't even know the name of it. But this is 8. No, it's 1. It's 1. And it's quite a thick one. But so is the outline of this stamp. So now I'm just going to freehand draw all the squares, like just the big squares. And it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. In fact, it looks better if it's not perfect. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just randomly drawing along there. So probably easier to just go like this. Go quickly, don't think about it. And yeah, I think this card's lovely. But you know, I have to say that, don't I? If I could pick things up, it'd be a real boon. Just bear with me. I'm going to finish off these. And as I said, this only takes a minute. And this card looks really, really good. So there we have our four butterflies, each within their own little square. Doesn't that change the appearance of this paper now? If I put those two together, even though it's the same paper, it kind of doesn't look like the same paper. But anyway, so now I've got my card base, and what I want to do is, I thought I might do this long stamp on here, Speedy Recovery. I'm going straight onto the card base, okay? So there's no extra panels except for a panel of the basic black and that. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up. It just says Speedy Recovery. I think I need a few Get Well cards in my stash. And this is from the Scripty, what's it called? Scripty, it'll all be down below. So I'm just going to, just bear with me while I just pop this on here. Now I hope that's straight. I'm doing it from an angle, so yep. Let's hope it's straight. Straight enough. Now, I also want to stamp these beautiful little butterflies that also come in this stamp set. So our black panel, I'll give you the dimensions of that down below. I'm going to pop this on here like this. So I want my butterflies to be coming sort of like that. So I'm going to ink that up, and you can do as many as you like. We might just turn that over and have them coming out like that. And then put another few somewhere else. Maybe nestle them in there like that. So it looks like they're all flying off. And that's that. So now we can pop this together. So I'm just going to put this on here. And I don't mind that I'm covering up some of the butterflies. So I'm going to glue that on because we're going to trim this. Okay, we're going to trim it down. This is just a panel of basic black. Gosh, that's hard to say this late in the day. Now I just want to make sure that's straight. And it looks pretty straight to me. Probably not, but it looks pretty straight to me. Then I'm going to glue this panel on here as well. Look, this, as it turns out, this is a very quick card. And I think it's lovely. So there we go. Now you want to kind of line up the edges, or if you have to go over whatever distance you have to go over. But yeah, I think that looks good. You can make this black border narrower or wider. I'll leave that up to you. I just got ink on the back of this card. So look, it was from there, that stamp there. So I don't know if you've seen one of these sand erasers. If you get this on it as soon as you find it, I'm not pressing hard, I'm just very lightly rubbing over this. Now I'll show you. It's gone. So yeah, get it onto it as soon as you can. Okay, so there's our card. Now I'm going to just trim that up where these little bits hang over. And I like to do it on my little guillotine trimmer. It always does a really, really good job. So I'm just lining that up. I'm lining that up there, lining that up there, and perfect. Now I don't know what time we started, but that is a quick card in anybody's language. And you can, of course, put some gems around. So I've got these little pearls. They're in a few different colours that are in here. So I thought I might use some of those and look, there's another little smudge there. See that little smudge? Not rubbing hard. Just rubbing gently. Gone. Gone. How good is that? So I thought I might just put a few of these around. So let's see. We'll do them kind of in the order that they're going, I think. So what do we got next? We've got green. Then we've kind of got yellow, but we've only got gold. We haven't got yellow. And then we've got pink. So what do you reckon about that? As I said, I think that's lovely. I hope you guys took advantage of the free shipping that was on earlier this week. I'm going to line all of these cards up. Here is the card we just made. I want to give you a bit of a close-up of that. Here is card sketch number 19. The rest of them are just variations of that. That's one I experimented with. It's not got a card attached to it. Here's another one I experimented with. Once I sort of hit on the idea of outlining the squares and masking them off, I think that you could put anything in those. Here is a US size card. I'll put those two together. Can you see those two together? This one's made with the smaller squares. This one's made with the larger squares. But you could use either or. Okay, they're kind of interchangeable. Then I made a vertical one, and I used some beautiful outline leaves from the layering leaves set. From the layering leaves set. The butterfly is from the this set here. Sketched butterflies. That's a beautiful set. Yep, I'm on a bit of a kick with this one at the moment. The Sweetly Scripted, that's what it's called. Now you get all of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different greetings, and they're beautiful. They're designed to go like across the length of the card or the width of the card. And this stamp's here from the Friends for Life. So that's this stamp here, Friends for Life. And this is the beautiful poised peonies. So yeah, let me know which one is your favorite. The butterflies, the card sketch number 19, the leaves, or this one here, which is kind of similar but not, if you know what I mean. So yeah, let me know. Give me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. Share this card around, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Then you're going to, hit the little bell. I think you can still do that. I don't know. But yeah, if you subscribe, at least you'll know where to find me. My name is Jill Lancet, and I think I'll just put one of each. I think I'll just put one of each on there, and then our little butterfly card, and you can have a look at those. So yeah, let me know. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on Sunday night. Fingers crossed, all being well. Yeah, so take care, be kind, and until I see you again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you very much. Bye for now.